What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, it's getting so bad for Joe Biden when it comes to his black support that a Black Lives Matter leader has gotten so frustrated with Biden and the Democratic Party that he has come out and now says that the candidates, all of them, are so terrible that he is pretty much forced to support Donald Trump. Can you imagine that? A Black Lives Matter leader is supporting Donald Trump for president in 2024. If you didn't think that the Democrats have a problem with black people, in particular black males, with their party, if you thought that I was lying all this time, I predicted this. I predicted 10 years ago. If you listen to some of my old videos, the black screen videos, you go to my oldest videos on this channel, I told you that there was going to be a growing schism between black men and black women in the Democratic Party. And that black men were going to start voting either independent, not voting at all, or possibly even starting to vote Republican. Only thing I didn't know was I didn't know the trend was going to happen this fast, but I knew it was going to start happening. But anyway, I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. A Black Lives Matter leader is backing former President Donald Trump to take back the White House in the 2024 presidential election. Mark Fisher, co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island and founder of Black Lives Matter Incorporated, said that he personally liked Trump before bashing President Joe Biden as a deep disappointment during an interview last week on the Kim Iverson show, a streaming program on conservative platform Rumble. Black Lives Matter, a decentralized social movement focused on racism and other issues faced by black Americans, is more often associated with the political left than the right-wing populist politics espoused by Trump. Iverson, a self-proclaimed tell-like-it-is, no BS broadcaster who has reportedly been called a conspiracy theorist by former colleagues, asked Fisher to explain why he chose to go against the grain and endorse Trump. Because everyone else sucks, Fisher responded, prompting a chuckle from Iverson. You know, I like Trump personally, and I think right now who we have sitting in the Oval Office is just a deep disappointment. I deeply have disdain for him, and I really dislike the Vice President, Kamala Harris, as well. After being asked by Iverson whether he felt alone as a Black Lives Matter endorsing Trump, he said he did not, arguing that a lot of other black people are leaving the Democratic plantation and embracing Trump instead. I feel like the tide is starting to turn. I feel like a lot of black people are starting to pivot off of that Democratic plantation for so long. We've been slaves to that party. Actually, we've been mental slaves, afraid to get off of that plantation. That party, they don't value our vote. Their policies are basically racist policies. I believe that it's a racist party that strikes at the heart of the black family and the nuclear family in general. And I believe Donald Trump, he's the opposite. Newsweek reached out for comment to Trump's office via email on Wednesday. Fisher, a former pastor, later explained that he was opposed to Democrats because they introduced abortion and were, quote, for, quote, different unnatural policies that go against laws of nature and procreation. So you can read between lines about what he means by that. He went on to say that Trump has done more for the black community than any president I could think of. In a recent interview with right-wing newspaper, the Epoch Times, Fisher claimed that Trump doesn't brag about his accomplishments with the black community. All right, look, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. Steve O'Bannon said early last year that the Trump campaign was going to make overtures to the black community, especially black males. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy right here, I would be surprised if Fisher could be possibly could be compensated by some entity for espousing these views. He's a credible source. He's a credible source, or appears to be a credible source. Pastor, involved with the Black Lives Matter movement. So he's not your typical, I'm Larry Elder, Candace Owens. You know, he's not one of those, at least not on the surface. So he has some credibility. And I'm not saying that he doesn't believe some of the stuff he's saying. I'm just of the opinion that Trump is the answer. I'm not saying Trump is the answer. What I do know is that Biden is definitely not the answer. I mean, if I had to pick, like if you put a gun to my head and you said, which one would you rather have? Well, I would tell you Trump, and I'll tell you why. Not because Trump is better, but because I think as a people, we do better when we're on the defensive. When we have someone who we perceive to be an enemy in the White House, or someone who we perceive to be an antagonist, we are on our guard more. Whereas when we have someone who we think is a friend, we ask nothing for. You know what's funny? Have you ever noticed that a lot of times we're ass backwards? Like, nobody asks Biden for shit. Nobody asks Biden to do anything. The people that are the biggest Biden supporters tell us to shut up. But they don't demand anything from Biden. Nothing. But yet they'll demand something from somebody like a Republican who you didn't vote for. That's not how politics work. I mean, literally, they're laughing at us. Up until now, these guys sitting there in their posh mansions or their parties and with fellow black people, or people that look like us, and they collectively laugh at us. They look down. The black people involved in the Democratic Party don't respect us. Matter of fact, they probably respect us even less than their racist Democratic white counterparts. They don't respect us. They laugh at us like, they'll just vote for us anyway. Like they got a choice. But now they're seeing these polls. And this is real. This is real. The hemorrhaging is real. It ain't just us. It's Hispanics. It's white voters. Independents. It's real. Even many black women are starting to see the light when it comes to Democrats. You know? But, yeah, I just wanted to share this, man, because this is just another example of how the Biden administration, if anything, they're expediting the mass exit of black people from the Democratic Party. I'm not saying everybody's going to leave. I think black people are still going to vote majority Democratic for years, decades. But it's not going to be those, right now at least, I don't think it's going to be those 90, 95% margins that Democrats have been enjoying. It might reset down more to 65, 70. And that means they're actually going to have to start listening to us. They have to start working